Alright, so Halloween is actually tonight, the night I'm filming it. It's actually October 31st right now, and I'm not gonna watch any more spooky movies for a long time. Honestly, I got kind of burnt out of spooky movies this year. I don't know why. Normally, I'm always excited for spooky movies. I was excited for this month to watch the Purge movies, the Blade movies, and I just got burned out of the horror movies. I think it's because I did so many videos on Halloween, and I watched Halloween Ends, and I got so burnt out on it that I was just like, no, I'm not really excited for anything. So I didn't even really continue the whole trend of watching a bunch of movies, but I did watch 5 of them, and the 5 you are going to find out now because I'm going to rank them today. Yes, that's right, I'm ranking all 5 Halloween movies that I have seen this month. Not the Halloween franchise, but just scary movies in general that I have seen in the month of October. But before I do that, tell me down below, what did you watch in the month of October that is scary or horrific? Because it is the month of October, and you guys all know that it is the scary month. I want to know what you guys watched and what do you rank them. And also, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell, and comment down below what I just said. Because this is going to be an interesting discussion because we all watch different movies, and horror movies are specifically the one type of movie that always gets people divided. So I want to know what you guys are going to do in the comment section. With that said, my least favorite movie that I have seen in the month of October, shocker, Halloween Ends. I've talked about this movie multiple times. I made a review on it. I made a ranking on it. Now I'm talking about it here. And so, I mean, it's a movie that, if you guys follow the channel, I hate. I have slowly watched the movie more and more and slowly learned that I hate it. I despise it. This movie is lazy. Instead of making a proper ending to where Michael and Laurie are gonna clash for the final time, oh, let's introduce Corey. He's gonna be a Michael. Oh, interesting way to continue the franchise. Bam, you're dead. Okay, now let's give Michael Myers 10 minutes of screen time to where he can fight Laurie, and then bam, Michael Myers is dead all of a sudden. It's so disrespectful to the iconic killer that is Michael Myers. I love Michael Myers. He is the icon that got me into scary movies. He's the first ever real scary movie that I have ever seen, and then they just disrespect him like this. Like, John Carpenter did not make the franchise to have it turn into Michael Myers and Corey, kind of teaming up, then Corey goes off. Like, it's just disrespectful. Why would, with any movie that they could have made to end the Halloween franchise, it had to do this? David Gordon Green was like, I guess he was like, oh, okay, so here's how we're gonna do it. Halloween is a great reboot. Halloween Kills. We'll add some interesting themes that'll kind of expand into Halloween Ends, and then they get those interesting themes, and bam, movie franchise over, because the interesting themes aren't even interesting. He screwed up with this. He screwed up majorly, because this franchise, to what was now a beloved horror icon, now turned into complete dog crap. I'm not kidding. I hate this movie. I resent it with all of my being. Then we head on to number 4, which is Scream 3, which is the... I only have one more Scream movie. I also planned on finishing the Scream franchise this month, but I didn't do that. I only have one more movie to watch, so it'll probably come out. My ranking of the franchise will probably come out in a couple of weeks, but the Scream franchise is another franchise that I really enjoyed. This was a horror franchise that I saw the trailer for the 5th one. I was like, I gotta see that. So I went off and I watched the first movie, and for the first 2 acts, that movie was... it was okay. I enjoyed some aspects of it, but then the finale suddenly turned into perfect craftsmanship, and it became one of my favorite movies of all time. And every time I rewatch it, I learn that even the beginning 2 acts get better. This movie is perfect. It's a 5-star movie. And then we got Scream 2, which is a very solid sequel. It kind of expands on the mythology of kind of making fun of the horror genre. And then we move on to Scream 5, which is kind of like it's kind of a making fun of the reboot area, which is perfect. Those 3 movies right there make the perfect trilogy. Unfortunately, they made 2 movies in between, which are 3 and 4, and I have not seen 4 yet. I cannot say if it's a bad movie, and this movie certainly isn't a bad movie. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the scenes when Ghostface was there, and when he's trying to kill people, and when Sidney and Ghostface are clashing it out. I've always enjoyed it when that happens. The reveal, I think, kind of better than the second one. I think the reveal's really handled. There's some cool kills here. All of that is very interesting. But then at the central core, it's kind of a lazy movie, because instead of trying to expand on what that franchise is, making fun of horror films, it kind of goes, oh, one scene, we're going to talk about the trilogies and how they finish it off, but then Wes Craven's like, oh, that's a boring idea, let's just make it a basic slasher. That's kind of what it is, and I sat there kind of hoping that it would start to get better, and it never really did. The Ghostface stuff is fun. It's got all the classics of what the Scream franchise is supposed to be, which is Ghostface, killing people, and all that really works. But, for the most part, the film just kind of doesn't continue the magic that the franchise had. And that's why I think it will definitely be the last Scream movie, and I really don't think 4 is going to be a good movie, because they really should have ended this franchise and re-sparked it with 5, and even though I'm hyped for 6, I don't think it's going to turn out good. Kicking off our top 3, and I mean, we can't really say a top 3, not a single movie this year was a movie I really loved, but we got The Munsters. Now, The Munsters is a Rob Zombie movie. If you know who Rob Zombie is, you know who Rob Zombie is, because this totally could have been an Addams Family movie. You watch Addams Family and Addams Family Values, not the crappy animated one, because that one's crappy, but you see the 2 live action ones, and they got crass humor, they got sex jokes, they got all the things, and that is kind of what makes the Addams Family so unique, is because they got all these things to be a PG movie. That's why the animated one is so bad, because they didn't have those things, but those 2 movies were goated. And then we got this movie, which Rob Zombie could have made an Addams Family movie. He tried to incorporate all that to Munsters, and it's just like that's the same thing, except this movie is weird. It's got the weird lighting. It clearly does not have a budget. It got dumped on Netflix, but also on Blu-ray, and I bought the Blu-ray, and I did watch it, but it's got the enjoyable moments to where, like, you get the story, and it feels like a TV show. It totally could have been a TV show, but you have the story here, and it all matches up, and it all really works, and it all fits together, and all that I really thought worked for the movie. But then it's a Rob Zombie movie. That means it's weird, it's wacky, it does not feel like a kid's movie, it's got all these weird things, and then the movie just ends. I almost called him Homer. What's his name? Herman. Herman goes, oh, I'm rich. I hate people. Movie over. And it kind of feels like they had no direction where to go with this film. Because they didn't have direction where to go with this film. It should have been a TV show, kind of rebooting that, but then they turned it into a movie. And it's got some enjoyable moments. Herman, really great in here. The story, it's alright. It's got the enjoyable moments. But then it's just like a movie. Why is this made? Why, though? I'm just sitting back and I'm like, this is not necessary for a film. This is just meh. And it's what it is. It's a movie that I will put above a lot of movies in my end of the year ranking. But then you get, because it's not in the bottom 10, but then this year you got some great movies like Top Gun Maverick, what's it called? Nope. All these great movies. Doctor Strange, Scream 5. But then you get movies like this that are just meh, and you also get the big crap movies that have come out this year, because this year has some bad movies. But this is just a middle-of-the-road film that I can find enjoyment in, but it's just a really weird film. Kicking off our top 2, can I even call this a movie? What did I watch this Halloween, guys? Werewolf by Night. And, I mean, why do I say this movie like it's weird? Because it's a Marvel project, but it's not a Marvel movie. It's just got the Marvel Studios logo shoved in it. But it's not a Marvel movie. It is so unique. It's got everything cool. The CGI is really cool. The aesthetic is really cool. It's filmed in black and white, so it feels like an old monster movie, but it's just really cool. It has everything great. There's gore here. The pacing, for only an hour short film, the pacing is fantastic. The action is great. Everything that a Marvel project should have is in here, but it also doesn't feel like a Marvel project. It feels like something totally unique and cool, and it's got a lot of great action in it, and it's got a lot of great, awesome items that, for me, it's great to finally see put to a Marvel project, because I really enjoyed sitting back and watching this. I sat down and I watched it, and I was sitting there and I was like, this is really fun. There are a lot of great things here. This, in the critic kind of way on how things were made, this is a perfect movie. But the moment I turned the movie off, I felt nothing. I was like kind of disappointed, honestly. And over time, the more I thought about it, the more I really liked it. But then I just sat back and I was like, kind of mid. Not gonna lie. Because for only being an hour, we get all the things, but it kind of feels like a TV show. Because some of the MCU shows, I kind of sat back and I watched an episode, especially like She-Hulk, and I was like, that's fine, but I gotta wait till the ending of it. This kind of feels like She-Hulk, where the ending of it happens, and I don't really feel anything. I just feel empty, and I felt like this never really was something special, because it really wasn't something special. And it was special, it's got all these special elements, but then it doesn't feel like it was a fully developed story, and it definitely could have had more developed. And when I said it wasn't special, that's a lie. This was very special. It's a special MCU thing, but it's got the weird story elements and the weird ways it is combined into this franchise, and then you just click it off and you're sitting there and you're like, yeah, I'm not really sure how I felt about that, because it feels like a TV show where it just leaves you empty inside, like most of the Marvel TV shows were at. But better than the Marvel TV shows, 100%. This was totally creative, and I really enjoyed myself. But number one, and like I said, nothing's perfect on this list, it's gonna be Us, the second Jordan Peele movie. Now, you can totally see all the negatives right out of the gate. So, number one, Jordan Peele definitely was way too ambitious with this one. He made it to where he gets all these ideas and he kind of crams it to a 2-hour movie. Like, these people are, the government made them, and it's got a nice explanation of it for a Jordan Peele film, because Jordan Peele films are weird. That was a mouthful. But his films are kind of odd and all over the place, even though I really love his films. But they're kind of odd, and they got nice ideas, and his ideas are all over the place. His ideas are all over the place, but they're really cool. But in here, he kind of gets, like, the ideas are here, but he goes and tries to become too ambitious, giving so many ideas to be crammed in a 2-hour film. And even like the final shot of the movie was like, oh, so now the main character was the girl from the beginning? Like, he just crams it all too short, and that is the big thing here. And then also trying to get all these big ideas about this group of underground people who are killing off the people above because the government, the writing isn't necessarily great. They said they were called the cops like 2 hours ago, bro. They called the cops 2 hours ago, and they said they were gonna be there in 15 minutes, and it was the whole movie. Like, it's just like they forgot about stuff. Now, at the beginning, I was like, I know exactly where this is going, and it didn't go there. It went through the entire film, which was just a slasher of the characters running around being slashed by them. And that was really cool. That was really great, and all that incorporated into this film makes for a nice fun slasher with some nice ideas. And I just had a blast watching this movie. It's creepy, it's got all the Jordan Peele ideas and aesthetics. The thing here is he kind of crams it all into the 2-hour limit. Like, should have been a 3-hour movie, definitely. Did I have fun with it when the people were killing each other? That was all fun. There's some cool kills. The characters were great. The family didn't really feel like a family, but that was fine. It's a Jordan Peele film, and it's his second film, so I haven't seen Get Out, but if it's as great as it was, and then Nope was as great, you gotta have a few missteps along the way, and Nope totally did not have the problems that this one did. And so, this one, still a great movie, still a fun time, still a great slasher. But, of course, not a single one of these movies were great. But thank you for clicking on this video. I'm going to need you guys to comment down below. What did you guys watch this Halloween? I want to know all that and more. Rank them. Thank you for clicking on this video. I'm going to have a bunch more videos coming up. It's catch-up November because I got a lot of videos coming up. But yes, with that said, like, hit the subscribe button. And as always, subscribe, join the Nerd Army. Peace out.